Is football coming home?
Yes. Is there a camera I can look into and say yes?
Yes.
So that
That one over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
If Luka Modric wants to go to the Croatian media and call us arrogant again, then he's free to do so. But, you know, 1-0.
There you go. I mean, that is it.
Yeah, Luka Modric.
You're watching Football Trending, delivered by Joe and Domino's.
Hello and welcome to Football Trending, delivered by Joe and Domino's. I'm Wayne Farry.
I'm Reuben Pinder.
And today we're joined by Bilal Zafar, comedian, Twitch streamer, Pro Evo Master League manager. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Very good. It's the first time we've had a football manager on the show, so it's a real pleasure. We should probably start out by saying that, Christian Eriksen, that was really, really tough to watch. So it's incredible to have seen in the last couple of days that he seemingly is back on the mend, but terrifying to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, thank God he's okay, basically. I mean, you and I kind of missed it initially, which I'm quite glad about. Really, that we didn't see it live and that I was notified by other people. But yeah, I mean, you've got to give huge thanks to Simon Kjær and all the medical staff who just like acted as quickly as possible, and the referee Anthony Taylor, because he dealt with the situation impeccably. And you know, if one of those things hadn't happened, who knows how bad it could have been. So,
England, Croatia. We talked about this on the last show. There was quite a bit of optimism, actually, really, and it seems like that optimism was well placed.
Yeah. I had a bit of a wobble before the game where I suddenly thought, oh no. I saw the team line-up and I wasn't as angry as some people. I was a bit worried.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I was a bit worried about the defence, but I had this sudden wobble where I thought, oh no, we're going to get absolutely battered here. But having been really optimistic in the morning, like, you know, I was listening to all the England songs, got my Beckham shirt on, I was loving it. Then hour before kickoff, I was just like, oh God, this is going to be horrible. And it wasn't that much fun at all, throughout the entire game.
I thought you were about to say, it wasn't that much fun at all.
No, like there were periods that weren't that much fun.
Yeah.
There were periods which we dominated where I thought, okay, we're actually quite good here, we look comfortable. And, you know, like the goal, as I mentioned to you earlier, I was working at the time and I just had to take my laptop down, put it on the floor and then celebrate.
Smash.
Because, I mean, it was a really good move for the goal. And it kind of, that goal actually vindicated basically every tactical decision that Southgate had made that came under a lot of scrutiny, starting Sterling being the main one. Yeah.
Well, see, before we get to kind of more about the match, like the build-up to it, and like, I don't think I can remember a reaction to a starting 11 that was so angry. Like, I know Twitter is not necessarily a place where nuance lives.
And it is mostly angry Twitter, to be fair. Yeah.
It is. It's like, you don't have people shouting about how happy they are about something. No. Do you know what I mean? Most of the time, if people are happy, they're just like, they probably don't have Twitter if they're happy. But like, Southgate out was trending. Like, there were like, and it's lovely, it would be lovely to think that it was this just like reactionist people who were, you know, who wouldn't be the most sensible people in the world. But I saw people that I follow, and I think you saw people that you followed, that, and kind of, well, partly respect at least, being very, very annoyed about it. It's almost as if, now that they've won the game and stuff, that Gareth Southgate knows more than us three or people online.
I wasn't that furious about it. I thought, first game, is it? Do we get 5 subs as well?
Yeah, 5 subs, yeah.
So I thought, you know, like, okay, I do quite like Grealish. I would like him to start, but I wasn't that angry. I still thought the team was pretty good. I really like Foden.
He's class.
Yeah, I was really excited that he was starting. Maybe if he wasn't, I might have been a bit annoyed. Sterling as well, I can see why he started him. I guess I'd like to see Sancho as well at some point, but I was pretty happy with it. I didn't think we'd get battered at any point yesterday. I mean, even before the game. I thought maybe it'll be like a 1-1 or something. I was a bit nervous. Every time Modric got the ball, I was terrified.
I was terrified every time Kovacic started running with it. It's like Kovacic can't really pass very well, but on that baking hot day with tired legs, every time Kovacic started running through the midfield, I was like, somebody please tackle him. But yeah, I mean, I think most of the anger around the England team kind of stemmed from confusion over why Trippier was starting at left back over 2 actual left backs. Sancho, as you mentioned, wasn't playing. He wasn't even on the bench.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
Because it's 26-man squad, but you can only name your bench up to 23, right?
And you need to, I think you need to have 3 goalkeepers in your matchday squad.
Yeah, you have to have 2
which is
It's baffling, isn't it?
Really bizarre.
But so obviously somebody's going to have to sit out, and the entire squad is good.
Yeah.
So there was always going to be some disappointment over that. But like, so I was confused as to why Trippier was starting at left back. I was also, I mean, all right, so I'll hold my hands up. Tyrone Mings has made me look like an absolute fool.
I didn't really. I was wondering whether how we'd broach that, but
I just bring it up. He was really good.
Yeah.
I maintain he was terrible in the warm-up friendlies.
But I believe the words that you said last week's show were Tyrone Mings cannot start. He's not as good as people think he is, and then Ben White must start. Start.
Well, I mean, Ben White's also a very good player.
Yeah.
But Tyrone Mings was good. He was very solid. He made important tackles, important clearances. Didn't really mess around with the ball. So I'll give him full credit for that. As we said earlier, it's almost as if Southgate knows more than me.
Yeah, exactly. And the Trippier experiment, if we're calling it that, but I'd say Southgate again. You know, there was reasons behind why he chose him. Like, it worked. Like, he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was. I think part of it is because he trusts Trippier to defend 1v1. Having just spent 2 years under Simeone, he will have improved in that aspect since he left Spurs.
Yeah.
And Croatia's biggest threat is kind of Perisic, Rebic, Kramaric, like out wide anyway. So maybe he just thought we need that extra little bit of security. Whereas Chilwell and Shaw, both competent defensively, their inclination is going to be to get forward more.
Yeah. And also now, both of them who played in the European final are now rested. For the second game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that second game against the old enemy, as they call them. Is it the old enemy?
Yeah.
Sure.
Spelt with an AU.
Yeah, the old enemy, as we'd say in Ireland. I mean, you've got to be really confident for that game now.
I think so. I mean, I don't know. I think it's one of those where I'm confident now, and then on the day I'll think. I've got a feeling it will be a draw.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just such a big occasion.
Yeah.
I think Che Adams might score.
Yeah. I mean, Scotland do have a better team than they did the last time we played them, and the last time we played them we drew 2-2.
Oh God.
I mean, our team was pretty rubbish back then as well.
I do worry a bit though that Croatia weren't that good. It's hard to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I think England were really solid, but then I feel like Croatia are not as good as they were like 2 years ago.
They're definitely not.
They've got an ageing squad and everything.
Yeah, it's what we were saying on the first show, is that like their squad's got older because they've maintained most of the same players, whereas ours, we've got a lot more young players. And that was probably why, despite the fact that they had Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic in midfield, Calvin Phillips was able to run the game. Well, I say run the game. He was basically everywhere. He didn't he wasn't playing in his like Leeds role where he kind of picks the ball off defence and like sprays passes around. He was breaking down play. He was like making box-to-box runs, obviously the one that led to the goal. And he was just, he just kept the ball so well.
Yeah.
And he just worked really well in tandem with Rice, who, Rice was nothing special, but every time a cross sort of came back into his area, he intercepted it and cleared it. Yeah. And that's basically all he was there to do. Like, the fact that we can dominate Croatia's midfield like that, which we couldn't do in 2018, says a lot about how both teams have changed.
Big time.
Yeah.
Like, Phillips, we didn't even discuss him, but, like, he was phenomenal.
Excellent, yeah.
Like, it is astonishing how every single time, and as you said, he wasn't even playing in the same role that he does for Leeds, but how every single time he is, like, confronted with a step up in his career, he just does it. It's just fine.
Yeah.
Like I think we mentioned it last week, but like you forget that he's only played one season of Premier League football.
It's just so good to see, like, because I feel like we're quite used to players being picked for England based on the club they play for quite often. Like someone signs for Man United and they're sort of straight in the England team a lot of the time. Yeah. So it's just, Leeds have had an exciting season. He's been excellent. It's just so nice to see.
Yeah.
Causes a big selection headache for Scotland as well, because as we said before, we assumed maybe he would drop out for Bellingham, who came on. Also, Bellingham coming on for Harry Kane. That is like such a ballsy substitution to make to close a game out. But it made sense at the time because Kane looked kind of leggy, wasn't involved. Get a bit more energy on there.
Oh, he had a very quiet game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. A bit concerning, but
there does seem to be quite a bit of concern about Kane. It's just strange because it's obviously he didn't play very well, and I guess England just have so many other attacking outlets like that. I guess if he doesn't play well, it's not the end of the world, but it's just such a switch from before the tournament where it was like Kane is great, he's going to absolutely tear it up, and then one game in and you're like,
he still might,
I mean, he probably will.
He is very good.
It's one game.
I'm not saying he's suddenly bad, but it's just strange how they kind of
I don't like admitting how good he is because I don't like his team.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but
we won't say what the team is.
no, please don't. But I think he's one of these players as well that even if he's had a bit of an off day, he can get one chance and score. I mean, he had that chance, didn't he, that he should have scored.
Yeah.
And then we would have been talking about him a lot differently.
Yeah.
So I could see him scoring against Scotland.
Yeah, he'll be fine. But I mean, but it's nice that we have players like Sterling, who his goal scoring record hasn't always been that amazing for England. He went through a long barren spell, then a really prolific spell, and then obviously he didn't score that many goals for City in the second half of last season. But there is a reason Sterling plays, and it's that goal. Because if you watch the full move, Sterling has the ball on the left wing, it gets recycled around to the right, Phillips makes that run, and in the meantime, Sterling has crept across the pitch and not been picked up. Kane's dragged a defender out of position, and then Sterling has burst through in behind and scored. And like, as much as people wanted Jack Grealish to start, I love Jack Grealish as much as most England fans. He doesn't make that run.
No,
because he wants the ball to feet.
Yeah,
he's much more of a. He's very similar to Foden, kind of playing on the other wing. So that's why Sterling played, and that's why we should just kind of like temper the anger when the lineup comes out. I mean, Grealish might start against Scotland, he might not.
Yeah,
but either way, I think Southgate will have a plan for that team.
Very much so. And that's one of the things with regards to Sterling. Like I kind of suggested last week that I thought maybe he shouldn't start. But in the conversation, the build up to the tournament, people kind of, you do forget Sterling is a phenomenally good player. Like, he is world class. He is one of England's kind of few world class players, and that is not a dig at England in any way whatsoever. But you know, not many countries have world class players. So he just sort of showed what happens when when a manager has faith, properly has faith in a player, and it shows that it kind of pays off. Because then Sterling, I mean, he properly repaid that. Like.
Yeah, and just as I wrote yesterday, the importance of balance in the team. Yeah. Like, I love basically every player in the squad.
Yeah,
you can't play them all at the same time.
No,
like, I don't mind if Grealish and Sancho are on the bench.
Yeah,
they will get their time. Like, it's not, well, it's 4 weeks, but there's 7 games to play if you want to win the tournament.
Yeah,
and it's like they were playing in like a very hot temperature. It's going to be difficult to manage, and like I know in the World Cup we basically played the same 11 in every game that we wanted to win.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the Belgium game, but that won't happen this time. He's going to have to mix it up a bit more.
Yeah.
So you know, it's a great thing that Sterling started. And when he was asked in his post-match interview if he justified his selection, he looked almost offended by the question, and I'm not surprised, because it's like,
that is a weird question.
He spent the last sort of 5 years justifying his selection in the England team, and obviously he did because he scored. But so I like his confidence. I like that hasn't been knocked from a kind of underwhelming season.
He knows how good he is.
Yeah. I think he does get a lot of unfair criticism. I mean, he is a player that seems to go in and out of form a bit, and he does have that thing where sometimes it feels like he doesn't want to shoot, and he always gets in a good position and then passes it at City, you know. I really hope he has a good tournament. Yeah,
me too. Now, so going on to the Scotland game, what do we think is Southgate going to, do we reckon he's going to mix it up, the team, a little bit? Or will he play his strongest team? Because you win the first 2 games. Really, you win your first game, you're through to the next round, really. Yeah. But what do you think he's going to do?
The cliche is you never change a winning team. Yeah. You will change a winning team because it's a tournament. Yeah. I'm not sure whether if he goes to a back 3 to match Scotland's shape, which would look defensive and negative on paper, but might provide, say, it turns into a 3-2-5 because your wing backs and your sort of wide forwards kind of all attack at the same time. Yeah. So he could do that. I think Rice and Phillips will probably keep their place. There might be 1 or 2 changes. A left back will come in, and maybe Grealish for one of the spaces behind Kane, or maybe Sancho. But I think 1 or 2 changes probably keep the same shapes, though.
Yeah,
Scotland are going to be better than people think, though.
Yeah, I mean, they have
I think so. Yeah,
pretty good team. I know people joke about the whole, Scotland doing what Ireland have always done and get players born in England to play for them. But Shea Adams is a Premier League forward.
It's a good signing.
He's a good signing, people said at the time. And they've got Marshall in goal, isn't it? They've got their midfield is just Premier League midfielders.
McGinn, McTominay, and probably Billy Gilmour. Yeah. If Clark trusts him to, because obviously Gilmour's not played that much league football, but he's probably one of the best 3 centre mids in the squad, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I mean, that's a tidy midfield. It's not that far off Rice, Phillips, Mount. really.
No.
Mount is the exceptional one in that group of players.
Yeah.
But like, so they can give us a run for our money.
I'm more worried now that we've actually thought about it.
Yeah. I don't want to put you on the spot here, right? But you are Pro Evo manager, Master League manager on Twitch. If you were Gareth Southgate and you had to give a rousing team talk to these players before the Scotland game, what sort of words would come to mind?
It would be, come on England, for God's sakes. Yeah. This time is more important than the other times. Yeah. And take your chances and be careful.
Take your chances and be careful.
And be careful. And at the end, when everyone's like, come on lads, as we're going, like the Tottenham documentary, you know? Yeah. All right, come on lads, we're all going, be careful.
Be careful. So that's like the team motto is be careful.
Yeah.
Well, I really hope that...
Do not go out there and express yourself.
Don't do that. We don't.
Take no risks.
Yeah. And on the side of the pitch as well, you'd keep being like, yep, nice one, be careful.
Yeah. And then hopefully chants from the fans then of...
Be careful.
Be careful. Or,
Yeah, you need to come up with a better tune for that.
Yeah.
Be careful. Yeah, no, it doesn't quite...
Careful.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
That's the one, isn't it? Yeah. I think that would be... Man, I really hope that some of these England players see that.
Can win the Euros by being careful.
I'd leave if fans started singing that.
It kind of does sound like fight and win, you know, that American, that Seattle Sounders chant.
It's US.
Yeah, big time.
It's worse than booing the knee, isn't it? I said it's worse than booing the knee.
I think we can firmly agree that. It's one of these things. There have been other football games apart from England. Yeah. I know, incredibly. What's been an enjoyable moment of the tournament so far for you guys?
I loved when Goran Pandev scored against Austria because he made his international debut 20 years ago.
Wow.
He won the treble with Inter 11 years ago.
When he was like a veteran.
Yeah, he was already like in his late 20s. Yeah. So he's like 37 years old. And he's just, I mean, the chance was quite fortunate. It was pretty poor keeping from the Austria goalkeeper, but it was just great to see. It's like, I love how in a tournament, players like Goran Pandev, it reminded me of when like Zoltan Gera was still playing for Hungary in the last one. Idaker Johnson came on for Iceland in Euro 2016. Yeah. And it's like, how international football's so weird. These players would never play in a Champions League final. Like, they're way past that level. Yeah. But in a tournament, you've got these like little bits of quality dotted around small nations. So you've got like David Alaba for Austria, who's just like miles better than anyone else.
He pretty much plays in every position. Yeah.
Who does he play for now, Pandev? Do you know?
Genoa, I think.
Genoa. Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, still knocking about.
I thought he'd be in China or something.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
No, he's clearly, you know, it's just one thing I love is the fact that, like, you know, millions of people are sitting down to watch Austria against North Macedonia. That's why I love the Euros, because like if that was, and it was the same with some of the other games. Like if they were like qualifiers, you know, you'd just be like,
this is so boring.
But because it's the Euros, like the amount of excitement that people have is just, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I find the qualifiers very boring. Like, I barely watch them.
No.
I watch so much Premier League football. I can't be bothered to watch all the friendlies and stuff and then get angry about the England team friendly.
I think it's better, it would be better if kind of everyone just agreed that, you know, the qualifiers took place, even if they didn't. And then just be like, are we happy with the final standings? Yes.
I mean, they're a waste of time. I always end up watching them kind of out of like FOMO. Yeah. Because I don't know, maybe I need to have my take on the England team, but they're never much fun. But tournament football is just absolute magic. Like the Netherlands-Ukraine game as well was unreal. I thought Netherlands were going to like walk all over them at one point.
The Ukrainian goalkeeper, what he did for that last goal, just like I was just so sad watching it because he kicked it and I was at home and I was like shouting at the TV, being like, you idiot, this is going to come back and haunt you. And within 30 seconds, they had scored. I think I'm not going to say that it's a bit early for moments of the tournament so far, but I guess I do think Roberto Mancini in that suit was just...
Oh, he looks good.
Very, very good.
Yeah. He does look good. And he dyes his hair, but it's not really worth criticising. Do you know what I mean? It's like he pulls it off, because he was much greyer at Man City.
And it's not like he's just gone like just for men and it's like...
Jet black or whatever.
No,
he looks absolutely... So I'm looking forward to watching more of Italy. Yeah. Mainly for the suits, but also because... you know, they played superbly against Turkey.
They're really good.
Who everyone had that down as their dark horses, and it's a bit too early to write them off. We'll see on Wednesday when they play Wales. But Italy just superb in every way. Bocelli, the suits, the performance, the goals.
What more can you ask for?
Exactly.
I liked when Lukaku scored and dedicated his goal to Eriksen.
That was very sweet, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people thought like all the games were going to be off that day, and you know.
I mean, it's pretty mad that
it was looking bad at
like
one point.
he played, Toby Alderweireld played, Vertonghen played. Like that must have been very difficult for them.
Yeah.
Like obviously it was probably harder for like the Denmark and Finland players going back out.
Of course, yeah.
But
like,
for
I think every player really, it was just because I mean, if the people watching at home were so badly affected by it, imagine like just being a fellow pro, it would just be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, honestly.
Before we bring this to an end, is football coming home?
Yes. Is there a camera I can look into and say yes?
Yes.
So that
one over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, right. Reuben?
Yes, it's coming home. Whether that means, I'm going to insert a caveat, whether that means we win the whole thing or...
Oh.
No, that's what...
That is what...
I mean,
well, it's not what it,
that's how I understood
yeah,
that.
Okay, it's not what it originally means, right? Okay, yes, it is coming home. And if Luka Modric wants to go to the Croatian media and say and call us arrogant again, then he's free to do so. But, you know, 1-0.
There you go. I mean, that is it.
Yeah, Luka Modric.
Yeah.
Easy.
You heard them, all right? Okay. Well, Bilal, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
You've been watching Football Trending, delivered by Joe and Domino's.